Good afternoon. Wait, my camera's in the wrong place. I was going to move it a minute ago. Right, there we go. That's where it normally is. Somewhere around here. That's better. Right, that was confusing, wasn't it? Alright, so welcome back, everybody. So what are we doing? So the last stream was a couple of days ago. I haven't touched any code for a couple of days. Other stuff's got in the way. So we're going to continue on with making the GUI in Vizia. And in the last stream, we were talking about is the architecture of the Vizia and desktop app tabbed thing. Right. So I'm going to show you what we've got, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to try and transition to. So let's run some code firstly so that you can see where we're at. Let me switch over to the code view. Here we are. Right. So what we've got is a main window, and we've got a little toolbar with one button on it. And we can create a project, and it brings up a pop-up. And when we click OK, it creates a tab. And when we click a tab, it shows this. Right. So how does it even get there? So we've got, let me see if I can get this right. We've got colors, this one. Yeah, we can draw. Okay, good. So what we've got is a GUI app, GUI app. And as part of this, let me do this a bit better. We've got a GUI, right? And inside this, and this is like the main app itself, and inside this we've got the sort of GUI app as itself, and then we've also got one instance of the Crux app, Crux, and then we've got UI stuff, and there's a communication boundary which goes between these things like this, right? And at the moment, we've got one UI which has many tabs, and it all talks to the same Crux backend. At the moment, the Crux app only knows about one thing, and this knows about many tabs, right? And the UI owns one of these. Let me use a different color here. It's a little bit funny. I'm not sure this is quite the best way of drawing this diagram, but you know. Oh, where's it? Right. So it owns one of these things. It's probably not the best way of showing it. Anyway, so this is what we've got, and to fix it, because we can have many tabs, but we've only got one Crux app, and the app only knows about one document. Right? To fix it, we can go two ways. One, let's see if we can we use a dropper? Yeah. No, is it this one? Was it that color? Yeah. To fix it, we can go a couple of different ways. We can change it so that the GUI app has a UI, and let's draw the tabs like this for a second. And we've only got one. And this is obviously broken at the moment because it doesn't work, because we've not finished it. So we can change it so that each app tab, I don't know why that drew a little thing like that. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. Why does it do that sometimes? That's really weird, isn't it? Okay, there we go. And I suppose this is sort of like this, really, isn't it? Let's see if we can make this diagram a little bit more understandable. Yeah, that's better. Something like this, right? So we need to sort of switch it to do this. This is one way of doing it. So for each tab, you have one Crux app instance, as it were, right? The other way of fixing it would be I need a bigger canvas. How do we change the canvas size? Who knows? Image properties. Oh, we've got width and height. Don't know this tool. Scale image to news. Resize canvas. There it is. Look. Okay. We'll do that. And then I suppose we need to fill in the background somehow. Is this fill? What colour is that? Why does it do that? That's weird. It's because this opacity setting. There we go. Right, okay, fine. Okay. That was a bit of a faff, wasn't it? Alright. So the other way of doing it then is like this, I suppose. There we go. Pick the colour, pick the path thing. The other way of doing it is to have the UI with multiple tabs and then there being Crux, but we only still have one of these and it knows about multiple documents. Like that, something like that. Yeah, so this is what we've got, which isn't right, and we can go either of these two ways. This way is probably better. This way means changing the Crux thing a lot, and we have to deal with like references and passing identifiers over so that the Crux app knows which document it's working with. So what does it look like in the code? Right, so in the code we've got the Crux app and it has a model and it has one project, right? There's a project and the project is the thing that we're trying to work with, right? So for this scenario on the right hand side we'd have to change that to I guess this will be a vector of project, right? And then this one is as it is now, which is just option project, because you might not have loaded one, so it's got to be option. Right, and then each tab has a project. Alright, and then yeah, okay, and then each tab owns a core. Let's write core per tab. And then on this one over here, there would be a static global core. Which obviously people don't like. you know, static stuff, because that's what we're doing at the moment. So this one to me seems like the right way to go. It also means that inside our app, we don't have to pass the event that comes back from the single Crux call to all the tabs to see if those tabs want to work with that message. It'll just go directly to the tab that created the message for the call. All right, so in the main part of the GUI, we've got our project container, and currently we have to do this. We go, if this reference that comes back in the message is for the tab that for the document for the tab that we're working with, then we do it. So we can basically ditch this, and we can ditch this reference thing if we do this approach. So that's what we're going to have a go at doing. But we've got a problem. We've got a problem. Because at the moment, the create project uses the core to create the document, right? And we don't have a tab. And then we've got all the event handling to deal with. We've got to move it. So what we need to do is to make the tab or something that can either have a tab or a pop-up. We need one of these first before, which then owns the core, before we start sending messages. So probably what we need to do is ditch this pop-up thing entirely and have it so that when you create a project, it just creates a tab straight away. And then on that tab, it won't have the sidebar and the content. It'll just have the form to allow you to create a new project. So we did all this work for pop-up windows for nothing by the looks of it. Still, we learned stuff. So let's try and transition this. Okay, so, right then. How are we going to do it? Yes, and we also documented like the events. Where is it? Event handling. Right. So the app starts, it sends an event, the user clicks the create button, and then it goes show create project. So this is where we're going to have to start changing things already, because we need to create the tab straight away. Okay. Right, where's the code? Show us the code. Show us the code. Right. Right. So, when the app starts up, this is what it does. It goes, create a new application, set up some languages and stuff, and then it goes app data, and it creates a tab container entity, and then it creates a VStack, a toolbar, and then underneath the toolbar it creates the tab container, and then underneath that it creates a status bar. Okay. So the tool, this button in the toolbar, it goes show create project, and we're going to need to fix that. So I suppose what we need to do is create a new tab. Let's just change this. Let's just go. Well, I don't know. What do we do? Let's see where we handle this. So it goes show create project, and then the pop-up closes. And we do this navigate thing. Yeah, we do a navigate. How about we say we navigate to project/new instead of this. Let's see. So where we've got our handler for this. Oh dear, not that one. This one. Yeah. What are we going to need to do? Let's just go if path is /project/new. I'm dealing with I'm sort of in my head. I'm dealing with like how do we do the if-else bit, right? Obviously, this is not the best way of structuring all this code and everything, but we need to have something which we can then refactor into a better way of doing it. But you got to start somewhere. And let's just put a big else block around this thing for now. There's probably a better way of organising this, but here we are. Right, and then we've got this open project. And this is the open project bit, right? And this is where a tab gets created. So we're going to leave this open project alone. And we're just going to do new project. Right. Maybe we could skip the navigate thing, but you know, at some point we're going to need all these paths and so on. And we want to turn this into like a router or something eventually. So we're going to need some of this. New project. And we don't have a path. Create a loading. We don't know. We haven't got an ID and we haven't got a name. That's going to be fun then, isn't it? Okay. Let's say none. And then let's fix this one to say there is some project. And it might be that we don't even need this ID anymore, but we're going to deal with it. Right, so this project tab must be option. Then. Oh, telephone. Sorry, one moment. Sorry about that. I've got a delivery of some tyres arriving and they've decided to pick like now to do it, you know. Anyway, moving on. I might have to have another break when the delivery guy gets here shortly. So we need, it has to be an optional one. Which is going to be a faff. So we've got this name. Where does this name get used? The name was loading at the moment. Yeah. So, what we've got is this. Yeah, we've got this. It doesn't even have a name yet anyway. So let's borrow this for a moment. Maybe it always has a name. No. I think setting the project properly once it's created is probably the right idea. And this loading thing is probably wrong. Let's have a think about this. We don't know the name of a project until we've opened it or the user has typed in a name in the new dialog, right? So maybe this isn't the right thing to do. Maybe it's what's in a project? It's just got an ID. Where do we use this ID? Yeah, we don't really care about the ID. Once we've done this transition, we won't care about this ID because we only use it here and then we emit it for this. Okay, let's ditch this ID. I need to see where we use this as well. Yeah. Let's just ditch this ID. We just don't need it. Self.root, yeah. We can get rid of it. This is going to clear up quite a lot, this is. Right, so we've still got to deal with this name. So what we've got is this. So how about we always say because we haven't yet worked out how we're going to update this name. It's probably going to have to be from a lens or something. But for now, let's just hard code it. Right, so we build a tab. This one. But we don't have this event, we don't have a context or anything like that yet. So we can only we get given a context. So we can only do that here. Oh, my delivery's here. Back in one jiffy. Oh, let me leave you with the code for a second. Okay. All right, we're back. Right, moving on. So we've got a tab pair, we've got a name. We can only create the name once we've got a context. And the project container. Has to take a optional project probably. Yep, this needs to be an option one. Right, yep. Now, we've got this ID. Now we said we've deleted the ID, so we don't need it. So where was this ID used? Was it used anywhere? Right, so the project container, needs to have an optional project as well. Because we might not have created it yet, right? Right. We don't have this anymore, that's gone. And we had this ID in here. Let me just search for ID to see where we used that. There it is. Project event load. So we're saying load with an ID, but we don't have an ID. This project wants an ID, which how is this being handled? It's going self.content.load with an ID. And this ID was the path and reference for now. So when we're doing load, really we need a path. So let's just make this a path buff right here. Right. Then we don't need to do this, and we can fix that fix me. Right. But at the moment we won't be able to compile it until we've changed this event, this project tree. I suppose we can do this now. So now we're in the Crux app, right? So we don't need a reference anymore. And I don't even think we need a path buff anymore. You just say, give me the project tree once you've loaded a project, right? Because here the path is unused and the reference is just passed back. So let's delete it. Yeah, let's delete it. So where we used that was here. So now we don't even need the path, and we don't need an ID. So the way this worked before, the create was already done, therefore the core already has the project tree loaded, but we're changing that behavior. Now we need to change the events around a little bit. Dummy content. Let's just delete this ID. But we need to use this path now. Let's look for, because we don't have a load, do we? No, it's going to have happened before this. We have to make it do it before this. Yeah. This is definitely simplifying things. It might be a bit hard to follow at the moment though, because we're having to touch quite a lot of stuff, but hopefully, you know, it'll make sense when we start, you know, getting there. But that's what we're trying to get to. So this load method was called by a load event. And then this was being issued by this on build project container. But I don't think this is really right here. Because I think what we need to do is, if we don't have a project, we need to emit one event, which will be the load project event. And if we do have a project, sorry, if we don't have it, then we need to display the new thing. So here we've got the optional project, right? So if we do a match self dot I don't know why it's not letting me do that project. Oh, we don't need self dot project. Yeah, we're returning that here. That's interesting. I don't think we can do it here. How about we then go, instead of this, how about we say load or create? Right. And then, because the problem is we've got this project thing here and we've put it inside self, so in this build method, you won't be able to access it. Right, so here we can then go project event load or create, right? And then this is where we can do the appropriate handling. Yeah, but we've also got another bit of a problem. Because we've got this window and it's split between the left and the right, and essentially we don't want to display it unless it's present. But this, again, this project, how do we do that? In the Vizia examples, there are some condition. I think there was a conditional thing somewhere. Where is it? No. Where is it? I did see it somewhere. It's where it renders a view. It decides whether to render something or not. Maybe it was in the documentation. Hold on. I think it might have been in this documentation. Conditional views. This is what we need to do. So it creates a binding when it's creating stuff. And then you can go if it's not, if the project is some or something like that. Okay, we'll try it. We'll try it. Not that one. This one. So this whole sort of content bit here, we need to go binding new, pass it the context, and then pass it a lens, which is going to be project container project, right? Because project container project has got a lens on it. And then, I think that was supposed to be a comma. And then we give it a function which has the context and the project, which is the optional project, but it's the lens, project lens. So if we say project lens, because I think it makes more sense to do it like that, to name it that way. And if we go if let some project equals project lens dot get with the context, then we display all this stuff. Right. Thus. We don't actually use the project here, but never mind. Okay, so we go load or create. So let's carry on with the handler for this and see if we can make this make some sense. So if we've got load or create, our self.project might be some or it might be none. If it's none, we need to show the view, but there's not really anything to do. So I think probably we need an else on this one, else, and then new project form. So we either display a project or we display a new project form. And we get our indentation right. Right. Now we created this pop-up which has got the form elements on it. Yeah, here we are. So if we just grab all of this stuff for now, right, and slap that in here, because basically that is essentially the form. But we need somewhere to put our. We need some way of getting the name and the path. We need that somewhere. How do we do it? So that's interesting. So if we said hub, oh, this might be one of those cases where you have an either instead of an option. Yeah, I think it is. We'll just use options to start with, but it's sort of a case where, well, maybe we should be using an enum for this. Yeah, let's use an enum. Enum project container. What is this going to be? Project. Okay, let's go project. Or let's just call it project form, because I can't think of anything better to call it. And if we say it's a project, then you have a project, right? And if it's a form, then you have a project form. That seems, fairly reasonable. We don't have a project form, so the project form is going to be a struct with a name and a path, which initially starts out as a string. For now, and we're going to need lenses on. Do we need a lens on this? No, we don't need a lens on this. So now instead of using an option project, we go this. This is going to be better, probably. So somewhere we've got this new method and we've got a project, and if it's an optional project, then you need to do one thing. If it's with the other thing, you need to do the other thing. So I suppose we go if what do we do? Yeah, sure. If it's none, then you get a project. And it's a form. And we go
I can't open home
default, right? Yeah, that'll work. Otherwise, we get a project. And then we can put that in here. Right. We've got more fixing to do. Right, so that kind of makes more sense. Now we can go if let project or form project. All right. And it's probably better if we just use a match here. Right, now finally we actually have the form that we can deal with, from which we can get stuff. And we need one of these. There we go. So we're trying to make this form do its thing. New project form. So we've got this. We had a lens for the self, and we were trying to work out what kind of project. Yeah, we don't need this anymore. The lens that we've got is this project lens, but it's not a project lens anymore. It's a project or form lens. So I suppose here we can go. Yeah, what do we do? What do we do? We need a lens for the form. Or the problem is we have to sort of map it because now it's contained in an enum. Yeah. Let's see if we can make this work. Project or form lens dot. Well, I'm not sure about the lenses on enums at the moment. Like, because if you get a project or form lens, you get one of these, but this doesn't have a lens on it. Now, I'm going to try putting lens on here and also on here, but I don't know how we get to it. It's kind of weird. I don't know what the syntax is for getting to this. We'll find out. We'll find out. We'll see if it works. So then we've got a project or form. And then we have this, you see. I'm not sure whether it's going to work. So we need a form. You see, what's the name of this going to be? And we need to chain it to another one of these. Name. And if that doesn't work, then we're going to have to do some like map stuff instead of this. Right. Now there were events associated with this new project pop-up, right? Here's the event. So we need to move these events to this. It feels like we need like a view or something like this, which has its own stuff at this point. We're going to just put them in the project contained for now, and then we'll transition it to its own view later. Okay. Oh, I suppose we could do. We can just create events for this. That's okay. We can do that. It's fine. We just have to move the event handling. It's okay. It's okay. So at the moment, we're going to have to put these things in here. And we need another one of these because it's a different type of event. And we want to move this out of here at the moment, but it'll do in here for now. Right, and we've got the handling, which we can copy this from the other place, right? Which was in here. So we've got this. These are the events. Right, so now we need to move these, or copy these from this event into here for now. Put all the form stuff together. Yeah. Okay, so we got those. Somewhere down here we had the form, new project form event we need there. And we've got the event handling for it. Now, we don't need a cancel button. So let's delete the cancel button. But we do need the OK. And then we need some event handling for this. Now, what did it do before? It said create project. So let's borrow this and remove the pop-up closed thing. Project form. Oh yeah, event. Right. We need to fix the implementation of these, but we're in the right place for doing this now. Okay. And we want to rename this to event context because it's clearer. No, but we don't do this. Yeah, we need to do something. What to do? We probably need to call the Crux app to create a new project. So this was previously done by the application, which was done in main. And this was when open project, but we've already got the tab. Yeah, it did. This is what it did. Right. Right. So I don't think we need that anymore. So when we say OK, we go create project, and we need to give it stuff from the form, which isn't in self at the moment. Why is it moaning about this? Right, there we go. So now we can access the form, and here we can go form dot whatever. There we go. And now we can go form dot whatever. So this create project thing, it needs a name and a directory. Now this path why is it moaning about this? Why is it complaining? I think it's just my IDE being weird. Okay. I want to go. I want the form. What's the form? Project or form? Project form. We've got this path. Let's keep it as path for now. Because really it's a directory basically. So I was thinking about renaming it to directory. Let me make a note to consider renaming to directory path for clarity. I don't want to do that right now because we've already got a lot of moving parts going on and it's already confuzzling. Oh, I see. We need I've got this in the wrong place. Right. There we go. That's better. Right. There we go. Okay. We don't have a project ID anymore, so we're just going to delete that. But what we can do instead of that is go project or form and just debug that, which means this it's going to need debug on it. Right. Okay. And then we don't care about this reference anymore, and therefore we don't need to do any of this again, which is the bit I talked about that we should be able to simplify it. So we just go, if there's a render view, then render the view. Done. Simple. Happy days. But this render view still has a reference in it. Doesn't need a reference anymore. This view is not going to have a reference in it anymore. And therefore we can delete this argument from the only place it's called, which is here. And when we say view, we don't need a reference anymore. This is simplifying things a lot. This is good. I'm happy about this. Okay. No errors in that one at the moment. Right. Still trying to do the project. Right. We've got one error here. Right. So we still got to deal with like what to actually do here. I don't think is there actually even anything to do here? Oh yeah, we need to go. We need to match on self.project or form. And if it's a project, what do we do? Yeah. Right, so trying to remember all the things that happen in the order that they happen. Let's see if we can work it out. So we've changed a lot of things to get to that. We don't have this show create project. And we don't have any show create project. Yeah. Right, this is unused right now. Can we? Oh, I'm thinking of a Java. How do you deprecate something in Rust? We'll just leave it like that for the moment. Can you put deprecated on one of these? Okay, let's not worry about that too much right now. Do we use this anymore? No. It's only raised, it's never handled anymore, yeah. Okay, and then we've got open project. A new project. We don't have a path. We don't need an ID. We don't use the name. We don't have an ID. And the project really shouldn't have a name. Should it have a name? Should it have a path? Let's just add tab. So create a tab with the project. Project tab. And if you don't have it displays loading, yeah, no, that seems okay. That seems okay. We don't need this ID anymore. There we go. But this we've did somewhere else. Let's look at where we do the handling for this. we've got add tab, we've got tab view, and then we've got build tab. And the build tab gives us a tab pair and the project tab. Has got a name. Do we use this project anywhere? Because we don't know the project name until we loaded it. Oh, this is a bit of a mess, this is. So when we're building a tab, we've got to put in project container. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Hold on. I'm getting a little bit confused because we've got this open project, it's got a name, and it does this. But this name is really a path. Let's make this project have a path as well. And let's give it the file path, not the directory path. This is probably going to be better. Let's go. Yeah. Nightmare. Let's keep that like it is. Hold on. Where was the other usage of this loading thing? Yeah. Okay. Right, but we don't have this name here. We've got a... I'm not a big fan of doing that, project name loading. Here's a lens. Yeah, okay, it's a little bit complicated, isn't it, this? Right. And this will cause it to have a form. Okay, let's see where we are with the compiling. There's probably some things that I've forgotten here. Yeah, this is what I thought. I don't think the drive macro works properly on the lens macro. I don't think it works properly on enums yet. Right, and that of course is then going to break this stuff that we said it was going to break earlier, which was this. So we have to go, and then we have to map it. Meh. But how do you map it to another lens if it's not the right type? Because it's an enum and it could be one or the other types. So what do you give it? What do you give back in the case where it's the wrong enum? Because there's nothing to give back. So I don't really know what we're supposed to do here. Are we supposed to create a new, a binding? No, we've done the binding already. That's this. Like, if this changes, then you redisplay the whole thing, right? Let's ditch this. Because we're supposed to be passing a lens into this. Because it says so. But and then somewhere there's a map method on here. Let's find, here it is. The map method takes the lens, and you get a map function, and the function is where you have the lens target and then you get something out of it. But you need a context here. Other cases where we do map, what do they look like? I've got the lens and I go, you don't get a dot map. Ay, ay, ay. What am I supposed to do here? I mean, it doesn't know what type foo is, right? It's supposed to be one of these. Oh. So something like this. Don't really like this, but you know, it is what it is. Let's see if we can make this compile. I think we're supposed to be doing it like this. Why? Why? This is an enum, right? Why can't I do this? What's the problem? Oh, yeah, like that. Is it ref mut or mut ref? It's met ref mut, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Right, and this is where you have to go path buff from. And then you can give it a reference, I think. Oh, so path lens. Oh, I typed it in wrong. Path lens. No field name and project on the tab kind. Yeah. Oh yeah. Where's name used? Oop. Not entirely sure we need it. But yeah. Because it's an optional project. If you haven't created it, I suppose we have to go but what do we do here? So this is like where we create a new. It's like new. Yeah. Right. To do IL10. We've got to do the same here as well. I'll do them both at the same time. Let's have a look at this build tab for a second, because here we've got this loading thing. So potentially we could call self.name on here as well, because we just implemented it up here. Let's do that. That's probably going to make more sense. Let's try that. This load, this is project content. No, this is just refresh. No, we don't need a path here. That was an error. We don't need an ID on this. This is going to be so much better. We never call this yet. This is probably what we need to do here. That's what we need to do that, right? Now that's better. But here, there's nothing to do, which is fine. Okay. Now in my clipboard, I've got this. We do have it here. When we're opening a project, and then we've got it just where I put it, just temporarily. Yeah, so I don't think we need it anywhere else. Yep. Okay, so we've still got that. God, this is quite a big refactor. This is. New project form event. needs to derive debug. I think we're getting there. We're getting there. Right, there's no lens on project, so this needs to be project or form. Why? What? Oh, right, that's fine. Project form needs to derive this data thing because it's a binding. And because it needs data, it also needs clone. And therefore this does too. And then project form also needs data. Right. Now this name probably needs to be name.clone. Oh, yeah. We might be able to do this. No. This probably needs to be map ref. Without the move. Oh dear. Yeah. Map ref. Let me give it a reference to that. Okay, there we go. Okay. Right, so this create project here, we use it here, but we don't actually do it anymore. So let's say let's make it unreachable. But the right way. It's compiling. Oh my god. Okay, let's see what happens. Well, on the bright side of things, the application still started. So when we create project, we're supposed to see a form somewhere in the middle of the screen. It's probably going to render all over the place, but we don't really care too much about the rendering right now. Right, so we've got a new project here, and we can click it, and we've got a name and a path and an OK. We're going to go test. Well, it's losing focus, but I'm not going to worry too much about that just yet. And we're going to put a dot in there and press OK. And it's created a new tab, which is wrong. But in this, we've got phases. I mean, so it's sort of working, but not quite. What we need to do is transition the current tab in the OK handler to be a project, not a form. That's the bit that we missed. Okay, so, you know, progress. In here, isn't it? So the OK handler, where was our OK handler? This one. So we say create project, right? And it's fine, it creates the project. But it's what happens when this comes back is where it's broken. Now, the reason it's broken is because of the way the core service is currently implemented. So if we look at our app core, this is our core service, and we've only got one of these for the entire application, and it's going to be telling us to navigate somewhere. Somewhere around here. Here we go. This is where it creates the actual project in the app itself, right? And the next thing it says is render nothing. And then the next thing it says is navigate to this. Right. But it doesn't need to do that anymore. What does it need to do? And the other problem is that the handling for this is at a global level and not a tab level. So, now, now one of the things that we do when the app starts up is record the entity of the tab document container. But what we're going to need to do instead of that is for each tab that gets created, record the entity of the tab in the tab. Yeah. Let's deal with that first. So in main, it goes tab document container and it does this, right? But we need to do something like this for each tab. Right. So the build tab yeah. Dot on, because we've got an on build. But we need like an on new tab. Oh dear. Because we didn't write this tab view. Let's see what happens. This is where it creates the tab header. Oh dear. Wait a second. where we do the build tab, we do this, tab pair, new. I suppose here, if we put an on build on this, we can do it on this, can't we? Yeah. Right, so we've got this load or create. Let's go ECX.emit, and then let's go project container event on what I say tab create. Let's say created. Okay. So we're going to go event.take with an event and the meta. And we're going to say match on the event. And if the event is a project container event on, should we just say on build? It might be better. Where are we? Yeah. On build, and we do this. And we want to go something like whatever it was that the main app was doing when it received this document container. We've got an example of it doing it. And meta origin clone is what we want to do. We've got this container entity. So we need this basically in here. Container entity. And this is going to be whatever this was. Which is an optional entity. There, like that. Don't think that needs to be public. Not sure if some of these other ones do either. But now we need to create these events. Thus. And let's make it do debug. And let's grab a println. So we can go project container event. Right. So now that we've got the entity of the container, right? We can do more stuff. So at the moment we've got this core service, but what we really want to be doing is going self.core. Let's say core service, right? That's what we want to be doing. But we don't have this yet. Thus. So I suppose we can just go new core service, right? But somehow we need to use this container entity. Right. So in the core service, we've got a new method, and we've got the update method, and we've got the event context. And now, when we're rendering views, we go. We've got an event context. Hold on. Ay, 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 ay. We need to get it from here as well. We need to access this from this project content thing. That's annoying. That's going to be fun. Oh gosh. Right, hold on. We need to go back before the update. So we're trying to work out where we use the core service. So it's somewhere in here. This. And this event context is... from the view itself, so might be okay. I'm not sure whether we need a container entity at this point. We might not need that, actually. We might not need it. Because the event context for this core is the document container, and it doesn't have to do an emit to anywhere. Okay, fine. Okay, so we still haven't actually fixed anything yet. So in our core service, it's still got this navigate thing, which is creating application events. Right, and we've got this application event navigate. We basically don't need any of this, I don't think. Pretty sure that we can just delete navigate from the application core now. And what we want instead is a core event navigate. I don't even know if we need navigate at this point, but nothing's currently handling this, so nothing will happen here. Right, we're going to get Oh, wait, hold on. No, I was wrong. Oh dear. We do still need nuts. We do still need it after all. We just don't need this bit. I think. Because we still want the /project/new. Right. Let's go to the app core again and make sure that we're using a core event. Navigate. Yep, we are. Right. So this core event is used by the project. Yep, here. And we've got this. Let's take that off so that we get a compile error. Right. I don't think we need to do anything here yet. I think we probably just need to get rid of the core's use of navigate entirely. Let's say to do. I'm not sure if we need it, but the point is the core can't create application events anymore. It can only create events that are specific to the project. Right. Okay. Fine. So somehow we've still got to go. We've still got to make it do stuff. So what is the core doing after it creates a new project? Where does it create the new project? It goes create project like this. It goes created project OK, and then it goes project load and it says navigate, right? We don't actually need it to do this anymore. But I suppose it could, right? Because somehow it's still got to pass the. No, the form knows that still right. So it's got to load the tab and redisplay it. Okay. Let's grab this. And then in our project, I think this is where we need to do this, right? Right, so now we've got a path. So while we're in the project container and the core is loaded project, and therefore we can now transition the project or form thing from a form to a project. And that's what we need to do here. So we go self.project.form, and we're going to replace it with project or form. And we probably should be using that either thing here, I think, after all. Now it's a project. Right, but we need a project. And to do a project, we need two things. We need the name and the path. Yeah, okay. So the path is easy because we've got it. But the name, this probably needs to be that loading thing again. Yeah. So we've got that spinner thing. Yeah. And this name thing, we might need to move it somewhere, really, to be honest. I'm not sure yet. Do we have an event context here? Yep. So we can do that, and we can do name. And that should cause the binding that's looking at the project or form to reevaluate itself and change things. But we still have a problem. I mean, that does work, but we've got a problem. The problem is that the divider bit on the left-hand side that's trying to use a core service is not using the core service for the container. It's using the the global core service, which we don't want to use anymore. We want to delete it. So the main method is basically doing this, which we don't want to do. So let's delete it and then recompile and deal with the fallout. Right, so this is where the problem is. So where we've got the view on the left-hand side, where the sort of tree bit is, we need a reference to the core service. And this structure can't have references in it. Because it's clone and lens. But because you can't copy references, you can't clone references. Or you can no, you can clone references. Hold on a second. Let's see if we can work this out. Now I don't really like this, but you don't really want to create a new one like every single time. We want to use, no, definitely not. We need to use the same one. I don't know, and I think you can go hash bracket lens skip or something. Not that one. Let's look in the Vizia docs. Skip. I've seen it. I know it exists. It's in like the macros or something like this. Let's see if we can find the lens. I want the implementation of lens. Maybe we can find it in files, might be easier. Yeah. No. I think it's probably in like... Oh, it's this. Here it is. How are you supposed to do it? Skip. Sure it was in here. Is it ignore? Ah, it's ignore. Right. That's why I couldn't find it. Lens, ignore. Let's have a think about this. How we do this? I'm not sure this is a good idea, but I don't really want to have this horrible like event propagation delegation thing going on for every single thing that we might want to do with the project ever, and put all of these events in like one giant project event handler thing, right? I suppose. Let's delete that from there. I don't like it in there. We still need to do this, but we can't do it from here, basically. Let's see what happens where this is handled, because I forget. I suppose what we could do, perhaps, can we do this? I mean, we can do that. So once it's loaded, you go refresh the project tree, right? Then the project tree handler tries to render a view. right? So in the core, where we go render view, it emits the view that it wants to render, right? So we've probably got a handler for this in our project. Which probably actually does the right thing already. I think that's probably what we were supposed to do. Yeah. That was some creative thinking right there. Alright, let's see what happens. Create project. New project. Okay. We've got a project. It says loading. But it didn't do anything. What happened? Because we're not handling the project load thing properly. Project load. We've got to handle this. Let's look for where we deal with this, because we're missing that, aren't we? We're missing the handler for that. Yeah, we're not getting this. We're not getting this core event message. Yeah, that's what the problem is. So this core event is not being emitted properly. So render view. Oh, wait, hold on. So it emits. It emits it, but where does this go? Right, this probably has gone to the event context. This event right. So the event context that it's got here. It's not sending it back to the right place. It's sending it back to the project container and not the view, the child. So it's sort of like the children need to register themselves with like the container so that when the container gets an event, it goes back to the right place, which I don't really like. Unless you passed like the entity here as well. But that doesn't help because we don't have the entity. I mean, we actually do. If we went meta origin, what's this? What's propagation on this? Oh. Oh, you can make it propagate the other way. Hold on. That's interesting. So in our app core, where we go emit, what else can we do here? Emit custom, emit to, oops. When's this used? Propagation. When's this used? You can go emit custom and then do it. Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll try that then. Let's go. Is that what it was doing? And we give it this. And then we go dot let's why doesn't it let me do this? We've got propagate subtree. And then we don't have, do we have a context where we are now? Yeah, we do. Maybe we do that. This is the wrong type of event. This needs to be this type of event, which is Vizia that one. That's why the auto completion wasn't working. We don't need this on here anymore. Okay, let's see what happens now. We still don't get the... We still don't get it. Why don't we get it? I mean, surely that should work. That should work. Why doesn't that work? Why don't we get here? So we're supposed to be getting core navigate. No, that worked. That worked. The render view bit is the bit that's not working. No, it was the navigator bit that's not working. We're not. This is the bit that we're not getting to. Why don't we get here? We never get here basically. Oh, hold on. Okay, right, we've got two issues. One of the issues is the rendering the view going to the right place. But I was supposed to be changing this one. Or was I? Let me put that back as it was for a moment. It's the navigate one that we're not getting. So where is it emitting this to? So this update method is called in two places. One is here. And that event context is the project container, so that when the core comes back and emits a new event, it's going to use this event context to do it, which is what we want. Wait, there's so many events. Yeah, this core service, when we click OK, wait, what happened again? You go create, you go new, and you go OK. Why is the... Oh, we are getting the core events. Ugh. Dum dum. We are getting the core event. It's fine. But the name of the path aren't right here. We should probably be using not printlns but infos here. Right. Okay. No, I was right. What other propagation options are there? They've got up, direct, and subtree. Hold on. So, if we were getting there, yeah, okay. We've replaced that. Right. Okay. I think we're missing a step. So the form gets created, right? Okay. Oh yeah. So the project gets created, right? But this. We need to update this somehow. We had this on build thing. Yeah. It's like, it's when this bit is re-rendered. There's nothing that triggers the refresh at the moment. Yeah, that's what the problem is. Is this... Because we need to do this, don't we? We need to emit this event somehow. Do we just need to do... We need to do this one again, don't we? Oh my god. No, we need to do this one again. Jeez. Yes. I think that's what we're missing. So we replace the project, then we need to say load. Right, let's try that. We were just missing an event. That's what I think. Let's find out. Yes, we've got phases. Ta-da! Oh, magic. So that worked. So remember in this app core, we've got this propagate to subtree, right? Let's undo this for a minute and see if we definitely needed that. Oh. We didn't need it, apparently. Okay. That's interesting, isn't it? So it goes navigate, and then it goes load, and then it goes loaded, and then we get project tree. I guess technically we don't need to make the core do a load. No, we don't. We're not telling the core to do a load. We're okay. It's only the what do we do in our project reload event? Okay, let's delete this. Project event loaded. Load. And then we say load the content. And load the content is done by emitting a by creating a project content and a tree. Yeah. And then we've got a view which uses lens on the project content, which then knows to refresh itself. And then it says loaded. And when you load stuff, it creates a new event. Yeah, no. That kind of works. I think we did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. We transitioned from this, where it was broken and only worked with one project, to this. And we should be able to test that fact by opening multiple projects. But my doorbell is ringing, so we're going to have to find out in a minute. Right. Right, sorry about that, everybody. Hopefully that should be the last interruption of this stream, because we're going to finish the stream shortly anyway. But let's see if it actually worked. So, what's supposed to be able to happen now is when we run it, we should be able to create 2 tabs. So we can go create project, and let's say tab A. Now, I'm just going to put the letter A in here because there's a problem with the form in the current directory. We go OK, right? And we do create project, and we do B in the current directory. Right. Oh. Well, we've got another problem. Switching tabs is broken. There's more work to do. What did we forget? What do we forget? So this is where we've created A, right? And let's just have a look to see if we've got files. Look, we've got 2 files, so they were created properly, so that's good. It's just the some binding or something to the tab, I think, might not be right. I'm not sure though. So we've got loading, yada yada yada. Find where B is created. Here's where B is created, yeah. And it'll be a different instance of the core thing, and all the messages were going to the right tabs. Because when we were looking at the second tab, that tab's view changed. So, you know, that was good. But then, after that, we then switch back to the first tab here. That's interesting. It's got an on build and a load or create every time we switch tab. Okay. So our event handling is probably wrong there. We don't really do anything with that on build thing, but I have an idea of what might be going on. Hold on. So this is what's happening. We've got this on build, right? But this on build is on. It's on the binding. Is it? No, it's on the project container. But this build is being recreated. Um, I don't think we should be doing load or create here. I don't think we should be doing that there. Because it's recreating the container. Okay. Why would it be recreating the container? Uh. Hmm. It goes initializing core service. Yeah. That's the last thing we want it to do. I think what I need to do is do a commit with all this sort of work in progress code in it, then look at the logs from before to see if the containers were being rebuilt before when we switched tabs or not. I'm wondering. Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't know where this is going wrong now. Yeah. No. I don't know. I'm thinking about all the possible places that it could possibly go wrong, and I'm not being able to work it out yet. Why would it be like this? Yeah, what I sort of need to know is, like, do tabs get recreated when you switch between them? Because it feels like they do. And if that's the case, the problem is the maybe there's a fundamental misunderstanding of how this is all supposed to work. Okay, so the app core, no, main has a toolbar and a tab container, right? And this has some tabs. One of the types that it has is a project tab. And when the tab is told to build, I don't know, because this couldn't have been, it couldn't have been rebuilt before, because this active tree item state wasn't lost before, right? When we switch tabs, It didn't recreate the tab. So why now does switching tabs cause it to recreate the tab? Was this bit all new? No, we just went project load before. We probably need to put that in here. Right, now we have this very annoying situation where it takes ages to recreate the problem. So it doesn't matter where we switch to, we always get that issue. And it always keeps going initializing core service, and it always keeps doing on build and load or create. So the main thing that's different is there's a binding on an enum. But that still doesn't explain why this code is recreated when we switch tabs. Because that wasn't happening before. Okay, right, well folks, I am going to see if I can investigate that a little bit later on today. I'm going to get some food right now. Yeah, so, yeah, we sort of made some progress today with our quest for refactoring from this to the second one, that one to that one. But we've got some issues. We've got some issues with views being recreated when they shouldn't be. You know, maybe my specification of should be is wrong, but you know, who knows? I just have a quick idea. I don't think it's this. No, it's not that. It's not like. Yeah. Because it's this that's being recreated. It's this bit. No, I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask questions in like Discord or something like that to find out what's going on with this because it doesn't make any sense to me right now. Okay, so Just remember, folks, it's only software. How hard can it be? We'll find out on the next one. See you later.